Previously on Two Fried Tea.
You specifically told me.
I just catch you having fun.
That nigga pulled out an iPad.
Like the fucking video or else.
Man. How y'all folk doing today, family? I hope y'all been straight and been taking care of y'all mind, body, spirit, and been staying warm in these cold times, gang. Today, I got a special treat for y'all boys. We're gonna be talking about the scary movie franchise, the originators of the parody horror comedy genre. Originally directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans, the eldest of the Wayans family, the franchise turned cult classic featured many notable faces such as Marlon Wayans, my favorite actor of all time, you know what I'm saying, Shawn Wayans, Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Shaq, Dr. Phil, Fat Joe. It was just hella people in there. Ain't gonna lie, it was hella people. But sadly, like everything else, like the shit got gentrified by the Zucker brothers in the later installments of the movies. But in high spirits of the Wayans' return to the big screen with Scary Movie 6, I thought I would drop some culture for y'all boys today. Now, I know some of y'all find the movies corny or whatever, but that's cool and all, but I really don't care. It's the best franchise today. You know what I'm saying? Argue with a wall, better yet, you're nasty. Dissected science frog, owl pellet face, having a daddy. I'm just saying. Now grab your Gen 5, some chicken flavored noodles with some extra hot sauce and some peak lemonade. And let's get straight to it, ugly man. Alright, see, the first scary movie starts off with some fine Drew Decker, a parody of Drew Barrymore from Scream. See, shot in her career popping some butterless, seasonless popcorn on a stovetop when she get a call. So she picks it up and some random start talking about some tell me your name and I'll tell you mine. Slick rizzing her ass up, bro, no cap. He goes to ask her what's the famous, you know what I'm saying, what's your favorite scary movie bit? And Shawty start talking about some Shazam, the movie Shaq plays, and on some real dumb blunts type shit. Anyways, Shawty start locking the doors, something she should have been started with, I ain't gonna lie. Perfect time though, cause Buddy's talking about some, I'm trying to know what your insides look like on some diddler shit. But don't trip just yet. Buddy outside looking at them hood magazines. He not talking about nothing crazy. If you don't know what them is, bro, you too young to watch this video, bro. Click off, bro. This not for you, bro. Long story short, Shawty gets ran down on after she forgets to lock the front door after beating the hell out of some trick-or-treaters. You know what I'm saying? Get ran down on by Ghostface, gets her coconut BBL implant stabbed out, and runs into the middle of the street damn near butt naked and gets ran over by her dad because he too busy getting distracted by her mom giving the mean turkey neck. On to the main character for most of the franchise, Cindy Campbell, a copycat of Sidney Prescott from Scream, yet again. Anyway, see, Cindy fast as hell. Got my nigga Bobby Geronimoing through the window and shit. See, this is Bobby, you know what I'm saying? No Boucher, you dig? But my nigga not for the talking, he about straight action. Young bull get the kissing and trying to see what that yada da mean talking about. But Cindy not gone. Shawty got a whole electrical fence around the box. Fast forward next day, we get to meet the gang, you know what I'm saying? We got Brenda, Cindy right-hand girl, the goat of the franchise, Shorty, Buffy, a well-known Minecraft tool used to till soil for plants, Greg, a highly aggressive, unintelligent egomaniac, also the boyfriend to Buffy, and Ray, the not-so-straight counterpart to Brenda, plus Cindy and Bobby, of course. But see, they got a problem. See, exactly 1 year ago, they were riding in the car vibing out, everybody getting overly freaked out in the back seat. Some weird shit happens, long story short, and they end up hitting this one nigga walking down a dark road. Like, what the buddy even doing out here this late at night? Like, I don't even know what it's, like, I can't even, like, you don't even got an explanation for walking down a dark road this late at night. Besides that, they're discussing what they finna do with the body, while Buddy sitting there talking about everything's okay and dandy and shit. Buddy end up getting knocked out again and they end up dumping bro in the lake. In present day, Cindy ends up seeing the Ghostface in class on some Mike Myers shit. Fast forward, they had a drama play, see Buffy on stage crying because your boy Greg upstairs getting blister packed by this nigga Ghostface. Whole time the audience thinks she's just a great actor. Later that night, Cindy gets ran down on by Ghostface at her crib. Grandma's getting thrown down the stairs and getting hit by pianos and all types of shit. She ends up escaping though. You know what I'm saying? Type some magic words into the computer and boom, 12 appear quick as hell. Like, bro, that would have been my black ass, bro. And they probably would have put me on hold, no cap. Bobby shows up at the wrong time, end up getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? Gail, the reporter outside, gets knocked clean the fuck out by Cindy because she asking way too many personal questions. You know what I'm saying? We get the infamous.
What's up?
And Cindy ends up going to sleep over Buffy crib. And here's where we meet my Doofy. Well, we been met this earlier in the movie, but I was just too lazy to put him in here. My fault, gang. But Cindy gets a call from Ghostface telling her she got the wrong person. Meanwhile, Doofy come out the cut with a t-shirt and some undies on and a vacuum cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Lord knows what type of malicious this nigga had going on with that vacuum cleaner. Later that day, Buffy gets her block chopped off talking mad shit. That night, a bunch of shit happened. Gail watches and interviews the killer and the victim live time. Then her and her cameraman got packed up. Later, they having a big party at Cindy crib, shit live though. You know what I'm saying? Music bumping, Cindy down there throwing some beer, and a plus-size BBW trying to escape from Ghostface in the garage through a doggy door. Whole damn garage door fall on her shit and pack her shit up. Meanwhile, at the movies, Brenda's getting packed up for being too loud by the whole damn crowd. While Ray too busy getting mind flared in the bathroom. This shit wild. Cindy and Bobby upstairs getting into, let's just say, a sticky situation. And the best part of the movie, the 420 session with Ghostface occurs.
Peace. Yo. That was the illest rhyme I ever seen, son.
Shorty ends up getting packed up and Ray and Bobby come out.
But wait, there's more.
The real Ghostface shows up and pack both of them up, and so Cindy survives the night, right? Man, hell nah. Doofy turns out to be not so doofy, you know what I'm saying? Shawty ends up screaming in the middle of the street and gets packed up by a car. On to the next, we got my personal favorite movie of all time, Scary Movie 2. The movie start off at a haunted house, you feel me? And they in here saying words they ain't got no business saying, bumping that one mystical John on the piano.
Right now in the place to be.
I thought I told y'all before, y'all don't fuck with me.
Your little sister come downstairs looking all creepy and shit and starts taking the pizzazz on a brand new carpet. Mom Deuce gets to treating little Shawty like a dog and starts putting a rolled up newspaper to work. She calls Father McFeely to perform an exorcism on Shawty. But first, Buddy ass had to take a mean ass Deuce had to eat way too much Taco Bell. He goes upstairs to see the secondary priest, Father Harris, waiting on him. They go to Mega Room, little Shawty from earlier, and we get the one-to-one exorcist shot. Long story short, McFeely start doing some freak shit, and niggas start throwing up on each other. One bad your mama jokes gets little Shawty blown away, and we fast forward to modern day. We see the return of Cindy and Shorty at school. Shorty teaching her about the value of books and shit. He start telling her how she need to get some more new gear, you know what I'm saying, start acting more cool because she ain't got no swag. A random girl walk by and get pieced up for her jacket because of it though. Ray in the dorm room with my buddy and some Randezium named Tommy. Ray and the rando got tattoos on their back insinuate they did some, you know what I'm saying, inconspicuous acts the previous night at the function. Then we meet Professor and Dwight, the second funniest character in this movie. They ain't here talking about the paranormal experiment they trying to do with the kids. See, basically they trying to provoke the spirits of Hill House, that haunted house from the beginning of the movie. They just trying to provoke the ghosts for some odd, strange reason. I don't know why they would do that. They figured these the perfect people for the job since they somehow survived the last movie's events though. They convinced the crew of Brenda, Cindy, Shorty, Ray, Buddy, not to be confused with Bobby from the first one, Alex, and the fine shit in this movie, Thea. Man, I'm telling y'all, but little 6-year-old me was ready to crash out about Shawty though. Real talk. I was ready to dive head first into some concrete slabs about Shawty, I ain't gonna lie. But that's besides the point though. They convinced them to come to the haunted house with the promise of an automatic A in the class. On the way there, Cindy pisses the singer off on the radio with her terrible singing. Shawty just wasn't going for it though.
Hey! Will you shut the f up and let me sing?
Anyway, she makes it to the crib and we get the funniest characters in all of the franchise, Hanson. Buddy look like he chew on straight butter. But first I can't forget the parrot. He's like the comedy, he's like the comedic relief in the comedy film, for sure. Anyways, Hanson gets to explaining the history of the house to Cindy and shows her the family lineage and tells her how Master Kane, the main antagonist for this film, had the HUDs in different rooms at the same time. I don't know how he managed it. Meanwhile, Dwight and Professor got a whole lab downstairs, even got cameras in the bathroom on some overly weird junk. Later that night, everyone arrives. The guys get to thirsting over Theo at the dinner table and Hanson gets to bringing out the food. But they not rocking with it though, cause Hanson told them that he made them mashed potatoes by hand. Next thing you know, Buddy get to humping turkeys and coughing all over the food. It was over with after that point. The gang get to hearing voices talking about some come play, and we get the iconic basketball scene. Cindy hears some more voices telling her to go check the music room out, but Buddy shows up just in time and clocks her shit with a football. She gets to telling bro to chill all that rough and tough shit out cause she's a girl, but you can tell Buddy don't got no experience with the hoods and she friend zones him. They go to check out the music room together and find a news article about Hugh Kane and his mistress and how they got murked in the house. They find a picture of the wife and she looks mad similar to Cindy. Meanwhile, Hugh Kane get to creeping up in Alice's bed and start cracking her shit on the ceiling. Overall, they just having way too much fun. But his shit get to stinging and itching and shit, so he end up aborting the mission. After this point, shit starts to get real sketchy. Cindy gets Ike Turner by a cat, Ray gets freaky with a clown doll, and Shorty gets 420 by his own endo plant. The next morning, Buddy overhears Dwight and Professor talking about pulling the plug on the experiment because the ghost readings are getting too out of hand. He goes to tell the rest of the crew, and Theo takes the initiative to go get the keys to escape. Theo goes to seduce Dwight and he ends up self-pleasing. She knocks Buddy out and grabs the keys though. Whole time the professor getting packed up by some ghostly fine shit. Alice finds the music room from earlier and like a delusional ex, she get to tearing shit up out of straight jealousy. They all convene downstairs where Dwight got some Ghostbusters level gear. Dwight ends up taking all the non-black people and leaving all the black folk defending for themselves. Cindy ends up getting hawked down by a skeleton though, but she tries to hide from it in the closet, but Shorty kicks her out. Brenda not going though, she ends up saving Cindy by replacing the skeleton's limbs and make that nigga do the cha-cha slide. Bobby shows up just in time, but so does Hugh Kane. He gives bro a mean ass wedgie. Brenda does the smart things and gets the fuck out of Dodge, you know what I'm saying? Upstairs, Alice gets packed up by a chandelier. Shorty ends up cracking the ghostly fine from earlier in the janitor's closet. Buddy and Cindy gets put in the freezer, and let's just say another sticky situation occurs. Dwight goes upstairs and has a wheelchair standoff with Hugh Kane. Buddy ends up dangling from a ledge, and Hanson tries to save him with his good hand, but bro not going for it. But he survives the fall though. Can't say the same for Hanson though, he ends up possessed. Cindy walks in on Hanson giving Shorty a new hairline, and we find out what them whippers really be doing to your brain.
What the fuck?
Beet juice in the house. This is your brains on drugs.
Cindy and the rest of the remaining girls go downstairs and get to putting belted ass on Hanson, Charlie's Angel style. But Hanson gets to jigging and explodes. They come upstairs, Hugh Kane appears and tries to grab Cindy. He falls down the stairs and gets trapped in the ghost catcher. The movie ends with Cindy seeing Hanson on the side of the road, and they start screaming at the sky once again. Hanson gets Ray Lewis by Shorty getting turkey neck from the ghostly fine shit in the car. And then we get to the first movie in the franchise without director Keenan Ivory Wayans. The movie starts out similar to the other two, with two sisters talking about a movie that you watch where you get a phone call saying you're gonna get unalived in 7 days. Turns out they both watched this movie exactly 7 days ago. They get a call on the phone, but it just turns out to be Granny, and one of them sisters go to take a shower. The other sister, while on the phone downstairs, hears some weird noises and stuff. She goes back upstairs to see a flood coming from underneath the door. She walks in to find her sister lunchbox. The TV turns on and we see the ring and she gets butted herself. Fast forward to present day, we get to see some brand new faces in the franchise. We open up on the farm. We got my boy Tom out here taking a waz, but he keep hearing the little girl scream outside. See, he goes outside to see what the issue is. Ran into my boy George on the way there. My boy George tell Tom the dog's doing some weird shit. We got one of them riding the tractor through the cornfield and some more over here getting fried. They hear the screaming again though, so they get to running through the cornfield towards the scream. They find Sue there, Tom's kid, and George's niece really just screaming for no reason. But we later see there really was a reason for her to be screaming. We see Cindy has turned into a news reporter and she gets reporting on the crop story at the farm. But her boss basically tells her that shit's ass and she needs to start covering something more productive. He tells her he wants a story on a strip club instead because of all the ratings that he gonna get. Tells her that people only love female reproductive organs and twins for real. Back on the farm, George and Tom get into it. George wants to rap, but Tom wants him to do something more productive with his life. Tom asks him what his dream is, and Buddy said,
Have a dream.
Ends up with his head stuck in the bus doors. Cindy goes to pick up her adopted son, Cody, from school. While there, she ends up reunited with her old friend, Brenda. But my boy Cody over here drawing some weird pictures. They get to talking about their love life and how Dita proud they is when George walks in to pick up Sue. He invites them to a rap battle, then starts spinning some weak ass rhymes to him. But Cindy gets to feeling him anyway though and agrees to go. Outside, Cody gets to talking about how some dark-haired girl that he saw in the vision trying to get Cindy up out of there. She asks him what else he sees, and Buddy starts talking about his pops and how he went to go get the milk and never came back. He also tells her that she's kneeling in some dogs. She skirts off in the car thinking Cody in the car, but realizes he's not. She ends up reversing right into the little homie and sends him flying. The next night she at the crib with Lil Bro and he still drawing some weird pictures of a little girl at the table. He says she be talking to him or whatever in his mind. Just then somebody knock on the door, but don't fret though, it's just one creepy ass old ass pastor. He comes in and immediately get to asking about Cody, but Cody dipped off in his room cause pastor on that freak stuff. We cut to the club where Malik giving a gun safety tutorial on stage. This one nigga don't listen and ends up shooting up in the air by accident, which gets him put out the spot. We get an oddly familiar to 8 Mile scene of George in the bathroom nervous for the show. He opens up the door and throws up all over this one nigga taking a deuce.
Whoa, my bad.
Brenda and Cindy show up and Brenda gets to asking Cindy to come back to the spot after the show because she got a weird feeling. George backstage getting a pep talk about Malik and CJ, who's played by Kevin Hart. CJ tells him he gonna be his hype man during the show. The show starts with Simon from X Factor getting blicked up for calling rap ass. This man George next up on stage going against none other than Fat Joe, aka Joey Crack. The rap battle starts with Fat Joe flame blowing his ass, but my man George not going. He get to, now everybody in 202, throw your hands in the air cause Fat Joe is through and shit. He hit him with the, I'm a white boy and my neck is red, I put Miracle Whip on my Wonder Bread. Ends up somehow winning the rap battle. But he fucked up putting this overly pointy hood on in front of a crowd of black people and gets thrown through the window. Back at the spot, Brenda overly pranking Cindy, but this turns out to be her downfall, because in the living room the TV turns on and the ring girl comes out. But Brenda gets to whipping her ass, but the ring girl get to Bruce Lee and her shit back, and she ends up packing up Brenda. Whole time, Cindy thought that she was pranking her again and ends up finding her mummified behind the couch. Back at the farm, George and crew find out the bad news and he explains it in the worst way possible to Sue.
She's dead! Gone forever! Died a horrible, painful death!
Outside, Tom gets to reminiscing about his wife Anna, how she got wrapped around a tree. Her dying wish was for him not to move on, but Broski wasn't going and she ends up passing away. At the funeral, George gets to think of Brenda alive and starts shaking her. As expected, the family members wasn't going for it and they start grabbing George, but at the same time, Malik shows up and gets to punching everybody out, even the grandma. They get to perform an inadequate CPR on Shawty, and next thing you know, her body explodes and parts get to flying everywhere. This gets George thrown out the second window of the movie. But George somehow feels like this is the perfect time to ask Cindy out and successfully bags her somehow. Later that night, Cindy finds the tape at her crib and watches it. Nothing but guys spinning in chairs and creepy girls, and this one dude taking the shit in the wheel pops up on the screen. The phone get to ringing and she answers it, but Buddy on the phone talking about some 7 days. But there's a holiday on my day, so what holiday is it? Martin Luther King Day? Man, hell nah, man. Stop asking me questions before I come over there and smoke your goofy ass right now. In the car, Malik and CJ trying to convince George to do another rap battle, but he not going and ends up knocking his one nigga shit loose with a bucket of paint. Cindy calls up George on the phone and tells him to pull up. They pull up to the spot and she gets to explaining the whole tape situation, and CJ tells her to go visit his aunt Shaniqua's house, you know what I'm saying, because she can help her. Shaniqua got the power to see the future and starts predicting Cindy getting rocked by this one vase. They put in this one tape in the VCR and the lighthouse shows up. Also, one girl pops up on the screen with a fly on her nose. Cindy somehow can pick the fly through the screen somehow, but Shaniqua not gone. She pulls out a fly swatter and hits the TV to kill the fly, ends up smacking a girl in the screen. Shawty fucks up and hits her back with her own fly swatter and gets drugged by Shaniqua.
Did you not be... Get out there, you...
She tells Cindy to go to the lighthouse though. Back at the spot, Cody ends up watching the tape, just as Cindy arrives to find George knocked the fuck out. The phone rings again, but this time it says Cody's gonna get unalived in 7 days. Back at the farm, Tom goes into Sue's room and tells her to go to sleep. Turns out it's just Mike Jack, and he get to put in belt to ass on Tom, dancing style. He escapes through the window and disappears into the cornfield. At the lighthouse, Cindy finds this old man who's been watching her every move for a while. He gets to telling her some BS about how he accidentally sent the tape to the aliens instead of a copy of Pootie Tang. So the aliens come to Earth to try to stop the little girl from murking the whole alien civilization, because they all seen the tape. At the White House, the president getting paranoid after seeing the aliens on the news, and he get to questioning who's an alien and who's not, and all hell breaks loose at the White House. Back at the farm, they boarding up the crib when some aliens come in. Malik comes in and calls in the cavalry. The cavalry ends up smoking each other, now they all on circle chains. The president shows up and makes friends with the aliens, you know what I'm saying? Cindy ends up knocking the ring girl back into the wheel and the curse is lifted. Now look, Scary Movie 4 and 5 are kinda ass, not gonna lie. Down in the comments, let me know if y'all really want me to cover 4 and 5 and I'll do it. I'll do a part 2. You know what I'm saying? Drop a like if y'all fuck with it and dislike it if y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? And let me know what y'all want to see next, you know what I'm saying? I'm new to it. I'm new to this, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing it, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I love you guys, you know what I'm saying? And bye.
Yeah. Hella poke, spin it just a coat, purple lemonade, mad as hell. Why the check ain't hit? I want that shit today.